the Opupco Studios in Oklahoma City, this is an OSU update. I'm Jenny Carlson. Several Cowboys thrown into the fire this season, and now that the Cowboys are headed to a bowl game, we've had a chance to reflect a little bit on their performance. John Helsley joins us on the phone. And John, let's start with the offensive line. Several guys thrown into the mix, some even along the way. Who have you been impressed by as this season has gone on?
You know, I think two guys really come to mind. One is Michael Wilson, who was a player that when he was recruited, they really loved him, and when they got him on campus, they loved him. And it's taken him a little while to sort of, earn his wings and get a spot in the rotation, and all of a sudden injuries forced him onto the field. I think it was a good thing for him because as the season progressed and as he continued to play, I think he's improved. And the guy that got injured and kind of forced his hand is Zach Crabtree. A freshman who was starting from the get-go this season against Florida State. He got injured, forced Wilson's hand, but since he's returned, it's really allowed the offensive line to be more flexible. He's really solidified that right tackle spot, and I think it bodes well for the future. Well,
something else when you talk about offensive line that's come into play is Zach Veach. He's a known commodity in Oklahoma. Native, born and raised, but he's transitioned a little bit, John. He's played a lot on that offensive line, but now he's playing more of a tight end spot. How's that impacted things?
That's probably been one of the key impacts of this late season turnaround by the offensive line. He was recruited out of as a tight end, and got shifted inside to offensive guard. He's really not big enough to fully man that position. So when Zach Crabtree comes back and Michael Wilson's playing well, they move Veach to a tight end again. He gets to wear the number 86. They haven't thrown him any passes yet, but it's almost like having an extra offensive lineman out there, a guy who's got that mentality. And all of a sudden, the offensive line is getting people blocked, they're protecting the passer, and the offense looks a whole lot better.
Definitely so. Well, John, another guy that we didn't expect to see maybe even play at all this year is Ramon Richards, the cornerback, but injuries and some different situations have forced him, a true freshman, into the mix. What have you thought about his development and performance this year?
It's been, as it always is at cornerback, it's been very much on display. That's a position where if you get beat, everybody in the stadium knows it. And he's had some of those moments, and he's given up some big plays, but he's made some big plays as well. And you mentioned he's a true freshman. He's a kid who was playing quarterback in high school a year ago, really didn't play a lot on defense, but they always envisioned him there, and he played well in the preseason. And ideally, he would have been a guy that got some reps and got on the field here and there. But Ashton Lampkin gets hurt. Suddenly he becomes a starter, and sort of the theme of the show here, he was thrown into the fire, and it's been baptized by fire to some degree.
Well, now that we're heading on religious themes, he talks about those dreadlocks as sort of being Samson-esque, doesn't he, John?
Yeah, we finally got to talk to him a week ago, as true freshmen have typically not been available, but he was great fun to talk to. He's a very sharp young man. He loves the dreadlocks, been growing them a long time, and he was joking around that that's where he gets his strength and his power. So I think we're going to see those dreadlocks for the foreseeable future.
Definitely so. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.